Hey guys, x4iiiis here, and to start with I just want to apologise for not uploading in like a month. I've really not been in the mood for the Master Chief Collection because it's still pretty fucked and it's just not fun. Anyway, we're not playing it much, I'm still Terrabad, so I've been trying to ease myself back into playing it with SWAT, which is by no means my favourite game type. In fact, I hardly ever play it unless my shot is really, really bad, which it is. But seeing as I can't get a decent gameplay with normal game types, this is just going to have to do for a video because I wanted to make a video to talk about the Halo 5 beta, which is coming up very soon. So last night I watched 4 hours worth of Halo 5 pre-beta streams. Now the early beta that these people are playing is still an old build, meaning that there's some issues that are probably already been fixed for the beta. For example, the really annoying ping noise every time you land a shot has been removed, but it's still in these streams. Because a lot of people have complained about that and x4iiiis have removed it, so they are listening. The beta will last 3 weeks and I'm going to be playing it a lot over those 3 weeks regardless of how shit I am at it, so expect a lot of content from it. The first week is assault rifle starts, the second week is battle rifle starts, and then the third week is when x4iiiis are going to introduce some things for the community to vote on. Things I've heard are the choice of what weapon should spawn on a map, and apparently there's going to be a choice between 2 maps that have been created using Halo 5's Forge mode. I also heard a mention of a new game type called Strongholds, but I'm not sure if they were talking about the beta or the full game because I wasn't paying full attention at that point. And any unlocks that you do get in the beta will be carried on to the full game, so that's nice. In this video I just want to talk about what I saw or found out about last night as well as what we already know, so there's a lot to get through, so let's just jump straight in. Our previous video I mentioned that some Halo fans have been complaining about how COD-like the game looks with animation for aiming down the sights, and I talked about the thruster pack, sprint and slide abilities, but I'll briefly go over them again. So in Halo 5 there is no shite like jetpacks and armor lock. Everyone spawns equal and has the same default abilities, which are the ones I've just mentioned. The thruster pack means you can boost behind cover if you're being shot, or you can boost to aid a jump, but it only boosts for a short distance. It's not going to act as a replacement for the jetpack, and it's not going to launch you from miles like it does in the new Call of Duty. The ability to sprint is default, meaning that everyone does it whenever they fancy. However, you can't shoot when you sprint, you can't reload when you sprint, and if your shields are down when you're sprinting, they're not going to charge up. So what this means is you can sprint to make a speedy getaway, but you have to stay safe for a number of seconds before you go back to full health. I do think that's a good addition to the game. Personally I never had an issue with sprint, but it does add a competitive edge, making the player wait to recharge their shields, and I think a lot of the new things about the new Halo are going to add that competitive feel because of the partnership between x4iiiis Industries and the pro team that they're working with. Also, if you're hit within the first second or so of your sprint before you hit terminal velocity, your sprint will be cancelled. When you are at terminal velocity, you can hit the crouch button and you'll do a slide. You can slide just to end a sprint as another way to get down, or behind cover if you're being shot at, but you can also use it to surprise an enemy if you slide around a corner, because if someone's anticipating you coming around the corner, they're not going to be aiming at the ground, they're going to be lining up a headshot on a standing Spartan, so that's going to be a useful feature sometimes. Another new feature is clamber, which means you can climb up on ledges if you're close to making a jump. It is something new to Halo, but is it really a problem? The only thing I really noticed was that it adds to the incredible speed of the game. Combining all these basic abilities, you can move around the map extremely quickly. This makes Team Slayer really fun, but I wonder how it's going to work with objective based games. Do they turn off the sprint, or what? Let's just say we're playing Capture the Flag. In older Halos, say you got an overkill extermination and grabbed the flag. By the time everyone respawns, you could be pretty far away from their base with their flag, and then they would have a fair bit of ground to make up to catch you, as well as having to take down your teammates. In Halo 5 though, if things are the same in objective games as they are in the beta, you can be at the other end of the map in seconds if it's a mid-sized map. I assume that a flag carrier is going to move a lot slower, so that would be a disadvantage to the carrier. This is just pure speculation though. I mean, x4iiiis have probably got something in place already, but for now in the beta we're only going to see 4v4 Team Slayer games anyway, so it's not really going to matter, and they've got a long time to figure that out before the full game, if they haven't already. I've been watching some gameplay from Halo Fest on the Ready Up Live channel, and he said that the auto-aim had been reduced for the game. It was really hard to tell from his videos, but after watching 4 hours worth of live streams last night, it's definitely there for all to see. People were really struggling to make headshots early in the game, and that was because of how manual it is now. What this means is that the game is going to have a large skill gap and not be noob friendly. I feel that a lot of games nowadays strive to be noob friendly, and it just ruins the game as a result. For example, Call of Duty with grenade launchers and perks like Last Stand, and with Death Streak perks like Final Stand and Painkiller, or put in Halo terms, the armor lock ability. I much prefer to be put in a game and play badly and get beaten by players who are much better than me, than to be put up against bad kids and not do well because of shit like that being used and abused. The auto aim being nerfed is gonna make it a much more skilled game, and with the form I'm on at the moment, I'm not gonna do well, but it'll make for a more enjoyable game in my opinion, and it'll make me want to play it more or get better at it. Now, the ground pound ability is an interesting one. When I heard about it, I was like, oh fuck, 343, why you do this? But in reality though, it does sound overpowered, but it isn't. You're extremely vulnerable as you float in the air for a few seconds, and players around you can hear it, as well as seeing you floating in the fucking air, and it gives them time to try and avoid it. Plus, if you try to change your direction, like change the direction you're running in, it's hard for them to hit you because it rotates very slowly, regardless of the sensitivity the player's playing on. Yes, it's one hit kill, but it's avoidable and it's detectable and even preventable in certain situations, so I can't see it being used very often. Recent Halos have had a COD-ass grenade marker that showed you where a grenade was going to go off, and that's just non. I'm sorry, but that's not Halo. And 343 have recognised that and they've removed it for Halo 5, so that's good. The assault rifle in this game is actually really good compared to how mediocre it's been in previous Halos, and the pistol's actually pretty good as well. It's not quite the Halo Combat Evolved pistol, but it is really effective at short to medium range. There is a high chance that the SMG will be nerfed. There was a point in development where the SMG was actually banned from playtests because it was that overpowered. It's since been toned down, but it may still need more. Whether they actually weaken the gun or just reduce the range slightly remains to be seen. I think I'd rather just see the range decrease because it looks like it's pretty fun to use, but it definitely needs to be toned down one way or the other. I like the way the medals come up in the center of the screen and don't pile up too much like they did in the anniversary games, where they take up like 2 lines if you got a lot of medals at once. And also the kill feed's quite subtle, it's almost transparent and it sits down beside the radar. What I liked about it though was that it didn't just say player killed player all the time. It kinda reminded me of the GTA kill feeds, except without the addition of things like player fucked up player or player obliterated player. But what it did say was like player 5-shotted player or you saved player. I thought that was pretty cool. It's only a subtle difference, but hey, these things appeal to me. There's a weird new feature in Halo 5 called Auto Stabilize. This allows you to hover in the air when you scope in. For example, if you jump with a sniper to try and quick scope somewhere across the map, you're going to stay in the air rather than drop like you'd expect. Now, this is an option that can be toggled, and I know that I'll be turning it off, but it could have its advantages. For example, if you're high up with a rocket launcher, you might want to hover for a few seconds just to get a better angle before you blow someone's face up. It has the potential to be annoying as well though, if you're lining up a shot trying to predict where someone's flight path will take them and then they suddenly stomp in the air because they're trying to scope in and fucking shoot you. That's going to piss you off. But I think most Halo players are probably going to be turning that off, so it's not really going to be much of a problem. Speaking of turning things off, the in-game Spartan dialogue is not something we can toggle as yet, but 343 are open to toggling that, depending on the feedback they get from the beta. They are listening it and they're currently still fine-tuning that anyway. It's good if you're playing alone, but if you're playing with a party it's really irritating. Like the Hutch stream I was watching, he was playing in a party of 4, and honestly like they were communicating so much, and because it was through Skype we could hear them as well, so we could hear like the full party chat and the Spartan dialogue, and it was just really fucking annoying. Another thing that I don't particularly like is the announcer callouts for the weapon spawns. How many times are you going to be grenade spammed for the sniper? On saying that though, I don't think there's friendly fire in this game. I'm not sure, and I'm kinda hoping that it's a game type dependent thing, but I'm not convinced that it is yet. I don't know, we'll see. A lot of people are whining about the outro scene of the Spartans high-fiving each other when you win a game. I don't have a problem with it, but having watched it for 4 hours straight, it's dull as fuck. They need to change it up a bit, have a few more animations for it, or just scrap it completely. They can't just have the one. It is really, really annoying once you've seen it quite a few times. Especially if you're on like a win streak and you're just seeing that animation every time. It's gonna really get on your tits. The spectator mode that's in the beta runs as if it's a saved film in theater mode, and it has a delay on it to prevent any cheating. It runs from a dedicated server, as does the entire beta, and I'd love to think that the full game's going to run on dedicated servers, but I don't think it will, so I'm going to say that it's not going to, and that way I'll avoid being hurt when they make us play peer-to-peer. In the spectator mode you get the full point of view of every player as well as the scoreboard, and I'm kind of hoping that that's the same thing as possible in the actual theater mode, but that's not exactly a deal breaker, but it would be nice. So the game runs locked at 60 frames per second, and it is beautiful. Once you've seen Halo 5 and played it at 60 frames per second, there's no going back to 30 frames. It's gorgeous. The graphics on the game are incredible too, and what does it for me is the explosion of grenades. They're just so well done and they look great. The maps are designed with competitive matches in mind rather than building a map to justify using a jetpack, because that shit was just stupid as fuck. Another cool thing I noticed about the maps is that they do have other things going on outside of the playable area. For example, on the Empire map you can see the UNSC Pelicans flying around, and there's something outside the windows on Truth as well. The most disappointing thing I noticed for the streams though was the chat rooms. I read 80% of the things I saw in there in the voice of a whiny, spoiled child. The Halo community is so fucking negative it hurts. There were some good guys in there who knew what they were talking about, but there were so many people making comments like 343 have ruined Halo, and stop trying to put the sprint in, this is not Halo, or Call of Halo, Advanced Guardians. It's just fucking pathetic. Embrace the change, for fuck's sake. I didn't particularly like Halo 4 either, and Reach was quite shy after a while as well, but we can't just go back to completing our bare minimum basics of Halo 3. Times have changed. We need to move forward with the times. That's just how the games industry works. Anyway guys, I'm kind of running out of time here, so hope you've enjoyed the video. Should definitely go over to Ready Up Live and check out the Halo Fest content he has, or if anyone's streaming from the pre-beta, fire up Twitch, go have a watch. It's brilliant to see. I had a lot of fun just watching it for 4 hours straight. Honestly, it's amazing. I cannot wait for the 29th. Anyway guys, I'm out here. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.